Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you what I would like to see in a My Singing Monsters 3.0 update. It's going to go over lots of features that I would like to see in a My Singing Monsters 3.0 update that would improve the game. First up, I would like for boosts to be expanded upon in the game. At the moment, as you know, a little bit of a nitpick that I have at the game is that boosts aren't customizable. You get the same predetermined boosts on every island, and that kind of does suck because honestly they were exploring other boosts that they could add to skins. They didn't choose to add them, and I think honestly that might have been a good idea because if you think about it, that would have meant that on other island skins you wouldn't have access to them boosts, and that would have made it unfair because other players would have been spending the same amount of money on an island skin on another island, say, and then they would go back and then they'd be like, I could have got this and this would have led me to have those boosts on that island, and that would have been more advantageous. And you should just be able to select the boost that you have. So if we select the boost button here, you can see different boosts that we have here, and we can see that the free predetermined boosts are displayed at the top of the screen here that you would normally be pre-selected to have if they weren't adjustable. The boosts that are selected by the player over here, you can see are indicated by a yellow outline alongside the boost. So if I want a bakeries to bake 50% faster, for example, I could click off the 10% incubation and onto the bakery one. And below we have a few boosts, so I'm going to explain all of them. Bakeries bake 50% faster. Honestly, the baking feature in the game takes way too long in my opinion, especially if you consider that cakes and things are usually what players of an advanced level are going to be getting. I think it would make sense for people who are paying in the game to actually have an island skin just to have access to making bakeries bake faster. 10% speed up for breeding. Incubation's already in there. Why not breeding it? It does not make sense, does it? Bonus rewards, 25% increase we've included in there. Again, I'm not looking to break the game with all of these features that I'm integrating here, so I've really thought and considered towards what features would break the game and what could potentially be integrated into the game that wouldn't lead to the game being broken on any level. And to have bonus rewards be increased is something that players of an advanced level would appreciate immensely, and that would add something for advanced players to look towards when purchasing an island skin, because at the moment there's not really much there. If I have all the epics and things, there's not really much there that's swaying me to buying an island skin, but that bonus reward is 25% chance increase I think would really perhaps sway me over if I were an advanced player. Now, mine production 10% speed up, I was thinking about making it higher, making it lower, what should I do? And that seemed really good to me. It's not too far, it's not too less. I feel like even on Plant Island, mine should be sped up a bit for these premium players that are paying the extra mile to Big Blue Bubble just to have an island skin. I think they should be able to have access to that. And I've also included globes can grow 25% faster. And I've included this feature because I just thought it was really cool, and I thought it was something cool to add in there, and 25% faster is not necessarily a huge amount, but for players that want to decorate their islands and don't want to use diamonds, this could be really advantageous and is something that would sway people over into buying an island skin, I do believe. Now, if you don't actually have the island skin, I do believe you should be able to just see the boosts that are available, and I think they should be grayed out. I'm not going to display that on screen, but I just want you to envision that, if you will. Next up, we have Monikers, and if we click the Moniker section here, we can actually select the Monikers if this update was real. The idea is behind this is that basically Monikers at the moment are predetermined, like the boosts are, and that sort of sucks because once you've unlocked one, you want to be able to go back to that, don't you? I mean, everyone wants to, don't they? If I like a Moniker previously that I want to go back to, I should be able to select that. So my account has, let's go down for example and say Aerial Overseer, so I click that one and I want that over Celestial Chronicler, and if I click apply, I should be able to have that on my account, because once you've unlocked it, it's really unfair not to be able to actually be able to access that moniker again, and it just really sucks, and I've never really understood that personally. I really like my moniker though, Celestial Chronicler, so this isn't something that I necessarily want integrated just because I love Celestial Chronicler and that's my favourite moniker overall, so I'm quite lucky in the fact that that is the maximum level moniker, because otherwise I won't be able to go back, would I? But for players that do want another moniker that they've previously unlocked, I do think it should be a case that they can go back and select that previous moniker. The next feature in this 3.0 update potentially that I was thinking about was actually updating the map. Now, as you know, we currently have the carousel map menu within the game, and that is really annoying to me, and I'm sure it is to you guys, because you can't get to locations really quickly. So if I want to go around the carousel, it can take a really long time to get to another island, and whilst it may not seem a lot if I put the timer up right now, it does add up. And in my opinion, why change something that wasn't broken in the first place? The original map menu was so much better than the one one in-game today. So I propose going back to the original format, and I understand why they went away from the original design. It was because of the amount of islands that we had, but the fact is that you could just use folders. So on screen, as you can see, we have the fire islands, other islands, mirror islands, and magical islands all in folders, and I've distinguished the fact that they are folders to the other islands, which are the normal ones, through the use of the gradients behind, if you can't see. So if I click on the fire islands here, I can go on fire Oasis, for example. Now, I found it really key to include the original 5 natural islands within the main heading area, because those are the main islands that people are going to be visiting when they become new to the game, isn't it, naturally? So you want those to be as obvious to the player as possible that those are the islands that they are supposed to go to next. And then they can go and explore the other ones, can't they? In my opinion, I think it's a bit daft going away from this format. I understand that you want all the islands to be equally as accessible, but that is going to be the case anyway with this, I believe. And again, why change something that isn't broken? Because it's not broken, and I think this map menu works the best, and I believe this would just fix everything. It'd mean that people would be able to go to islands faster, and it'd fix the game for future updates, because when you add more islands to the map menu, to the carousel, it's going to get really crowded eventually, and honestly, it doesn't really work that well at the moment. The functionality behind it, going to the mirror islands and things, it just seems really annoying to me, and I really hope that they do go back to the original format. Next up, I'd like to bring up the collect all button. So as you can see on screen here, the collect all button has appeared on my screen. Now, it's actually appeared because I have coins to collect on Firehaven right here, as you can see. So I believe that we should have a collect all button in the game. As you all know, collecting coins takes an absolute ton of time at the moment. There's that many islands now. It can take up to half an hour for me personally to collect from islands, and I'm sure it's the same for you guys too. So it can take a huge amount of time. Now, this collect all button, of course, collects diamonds, bakeries, everything on the island once it has been tapped. So if we tap it here, there we go. We have collected all of the coins from Firehaven and the button has disappeared. This is really something that we should have in the game. It doesn't make sense why the collect all button wouldn't exist. The only thing I can really think about why they would perhaps restrict themselves to not adding this feature is because of how players have had to collect coins for years now from their islands, and still though, it just doesn't make sense not to add it. So I really hope they add this feature sometime soon, because honestly it will make the game much better and it will keep it engaging, and collecting coins like that for almost half an hour perhaps just isn't that great, and having this feature is something that the game really needs, especially now we have it in Dawn of Fire, which was something rather unprecedented because no one had been even asking it for Dawn of Fire, and then all of a sudden we got it for Dawn of Fire over My Singing Monsters where everyone was wanting it. So that was a little confusing, and I really hope that the main game does get it. I'm glad Dawn of Fire did, but now it's My Singing Monsters' turn. And I would just like to point out too that the collect all button shouldn't have an expense put on it, like 10 diamonds to collect all of the currency on that specific island. Collecting all the coins anyway is free, and I don't believe any set price should be put on it, especially now they've done it in Dawn of Fire and it's free in there. I think it would be wrong to put a price on it. Anyway, next up we have the friends menu. So if we tap the friends menu here, you can see my profile comes up, and I actually have integrated a few new features into the friends menu. Now, I believe the friends menu is rather messy, which we're going to get into in a minute, but also what's important is here we can see the display name, and it's clearly indicating to us what is going on in the friends menu, what my display name is, and also I believe that a personal message should be included within your profile so that friends can see that when they are visiting your islands, so they know what torches to light. For example, if you want a specific island's torches lighting, you can put that in your personal message and then they will know exactly what to do. Or perhaps if you're looking for tribal members, you can put that as a personal message, or perhaps you can just put something like what I've put. And honestly, this should be a thing. It's in Dawn of Fire, and I know that Dawn of Fire has lots of features that are advantageous over the original game, as was intended, but those features should also be included in the original game, and it's wrong to just keep them to Dawn of Fire. Dawn of Fire doesn't really have any social features, so the fact that that has a personal message in My Singing Monsters doesn't just rather suck. The display name is also something that I've been really driving towards having in the friends menu, because people just leave it and they don't understand that that option is actually there, and just putting that there as soon as you open the friends menu, that your profile is changeable and customizable, will help players in understanding understanding, oh hey, I can change my display name, my personal message, so that friends can see it. And also I've included an icon. By clicking on the icon, as you can see here, you can change your icon to whatever monster you like out of the monsters that you have. So a profile menu is definitely really something that we need in the original game, I do believe. And now here we can see the actual friends menu itself. Now I've really thought about how exactly to lay this out, because the friends menu to me in game is rather messy and it looks really clunky to me inside of the game, and I'm not really sure about the color scheme going on in there, so I've tried to change it up and make it look appealing. You have the page number indicated at the top. It shouldn't be limited to 2,000 pages, I do believe, anymore. I've included a search bar at the top of the friends menu so friends can be searched for, because I believe that's really important at this stage, because friends should be able to be searched for. There's that many people that play the game, it's impossible to find some people, honestly, if you have a rather large amount of friends, such as what I have. And in the case that you want to search for a friend, that should be doable through the search bar in the game, if it was to get one. I've also included the ability to add friends in a much more obvious manner. If you look below add friends, you can see a plus icon, and I believe that is much more obvious than just going on the invite friends menu and add by friend code, because honestly that doesn't really make sense to me. You're not inviting friends to be your friend, you're adding the friend. So I think just including the option there and getting rid of the Game Center one, especially because the Game Center is discontinued now, no one uses Game Center, I do think that is a good choice to make, and I believe that that would be a lot better over what we have currently. Also, when you visit the torches tab, you should be able to actually see the people that have actually lit your torches, because honestly, when I go on that tab, I can tell you now, the people on there are not the ones that have lit my torches. The fact is that that tab should be sorted by the people who have recently lit your torches, so I can go back to that list and light their torches in return, because currently it doesn't really work out. If I want to go and light people's torches who've lit mine, I don't know who's done it really. If this tab was actually updated frequently, I would actually be able to go and light their torches, and it would make the game a lot more sociable, I think, because people would know who's lit their torches and they'd be able to go and light them back, and perhaps be able to favourite them or whatever, and that is something that should be there for definite. As you can see here too, next to the torch lighting tab, you can actually favourite friends still too, and of course that is going to be a returning feature. Just the search bar and just the overall navigation that needs to be improved in here, and the display of the profile. No one uses that Facebook icon, so we need to get rid of that, and we need to integrate new icons like Dawn of Fire has. Potentially the breeding ones, they're fine, just integrating them into there will make the game a lot more appealing, will allow a lot more customization for fans. I'm not saying to get rid of the Facebook icon feature, I'm just saying have the ability to actually choose monsters besides them as well, because I can tell you now in Dawn of Fire, literally no one has a Facebook icon most of the time. They always choose a monster, and that's going to be the same case in the original game, isn't it? Where lots more people are playing, and obviously I think it's more of an issue and something that they need to work on. If we go on the Visit Top Islands tab here too, you can see that I've updated this a little. Now currently you can only scroll through 10 of the top islands before you reach an end, and then you just have to keep clicking next on the 10th one or whatever, and that can get really repetitive if you just want to find a certain specific island. And I believe that, again, going back to Dawn of Fire, this is something that Dawn of Fire does better, and we just need to integrate that into the original game too, whilst keeping the top rank system that is already in place, because that works perfectly. Next up, I'd actually like to go and take a look at Gold Island. Over on Gold Island, at the moment, it can be hard to actually find the monster that you are looking for in terms of placing it on the island. So what I propose is, for the Gold Island place menu, is to actually add a search bar, as you guys can see now. Adding a search bar would make it a lot easier to find those monsters that you want to find on the Gold Island menu, and honestly, it can get really hard to find monsters, especially when you start getting a lot of monsters. It can get hard to find monsters, especially with all the variants and things now. It just needs to be there, I believe. Another feature that I would like to be integrated into the game is a path editor. Now, paths take an extraordinarily long amount of time to place into the game at the moment, and I've previously covered this concept in my island editor video. Go and check that out if you want to check out what a more open island editor could look like, but I don't believe that sort of feature is needed necessarily in the game. At the moment, paths are the only thing that take an extremely large amount of time to actually place down. Decorations aren't really that much of a hassle to place down, so I don't really believe that we really need a feature like that, but I do think we 100% need a feature revolving around paths, because they just take too long to do, and we just need something like a path editor just to be able to decorate as islands that much quicker. So in the path editor tab here, you can see different options. We have a help menu discussing how this path editor works, a draw tool where you can draw the paths along with your finger and select the path that you would like, and also the generic editor that we're going to use now. So first up in the editor, you choose a path that you would just like to use in general. So once we've chosen the path, we are able to then do lots of things with the path editor tool. We can either extend the path by clicking the extend button. Place over existing paths is completely up to you if you want to do that or not. Perhaps you don't want to place it over the paths that are on the island, in which case you can just turn it off like so, or back on. You may also choose to sell all of the paths existing on an island too, which you can do by clicking the sell all button. You can flip the path like you might have seen that I just did, and you can also go on the patterns tab. In the patterns tab, you can select the pattern you want. So I want pattern 2, for example, and then I can select the path I would like for that pattern, and then that will be applied to the island once I click the select button now. So as you can see, the pattern has been applied, and I can move it around or whatever I want to do on my island so it suits what I want to do in terms of decorating on my island. Now also, if we go back here and we go on the pencil tool, we are able to actually draw paths. Now I'm not going to actually draw the paths down because that would be too hard to edit, and I'm not really sure how to do that, but you get the general idea. You can place it down once you've finished drawing them, you can select the path you're drawing with at the time, and you can find out the total of coins that are required for the amount of paths, obviously, in each editor, in both the natural editor and the actual pencil editor, by clicking place down, in which you will get a notification for how many coins you have spent exactly. Having something like this would just save us tons of time, guys, and I don't know about you, but I'm not really that great with pencils and things, and I would prefer the pattern tool, but I know that lots of you guys also like just placing paths where you want to, and that kind of pattern tool right there might not suit what you want to do in your game, so I think having that option there with the pencil tool is really important. Next up, we have a rebake button. I would absolutely adore to have a rebake button be put into the game, because at the moment you have to scroll all the way down to get a cake or whatever, and it just takes forever. I just want to be able to just tap that rebake button and not have to think about it that much. That would make it so much easier, and honestly, if you have 5 bakeries on an island at the moment, it can be so repetitive just going down, placing the bakery order, and it's just so annoying. So I would like to see this be fixed, and I would like to see a rebake button be put in the game. And as you can see here, if we click rebake, the notification comes up, and then if we click accept, the amount of coins will go through. Obviously my coins aren't going through on my currency displayed on my game because I'm at the magic coin number, and that means that my coins don't go down because I've surpassed 2 billion coins. I definitely want to see a rebake button be added to the game. Alright then, guys, that is all for today. Now, that video took me ages to edit together, as you probably could tell. It's been so long in development now, it's unreal, and I'm so happy to just get it out there finally. I would like to clarify a few things before the video does end. Now, you may have seen in the friends menu earlier, we actually did have higher levels available above level 75, and that's currently not possible. Now, in my mind, an update 3.0 would increase the level capacity, because I do believe that we should have more levels in the game now. Lots of people have reached level 75, me included, and I would love to see it go up to level 100, and honestly, it would be something for higher ranked players to just get their heads into. It'd be fun, and I think it should just happen. So yeah, I did that, and then also I was thinking about the monster book and thinking about how to improve that, but I couldn't necessarily formulate in my head a way to improve it. I believe that it's good enough already, and I didn't really know how to go about it, to be fair. I personally do prefer the old monster book that we used to have, where you used to be able to see the icons for the monsters that you used to have, but honestly, I prefer the new one more for players that are new potentially, and them being able to spot monsters easier that they don't have, and I think it works out a lot better, even though I prefer the old one. That's just me. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I didn't get a chance to actually include a concept for Tribal Island and how I go about improving Tribal Island. I know that's a bit controversial as well, Tribal Island. When that came out, there were a lot of people complaining about how the functionality behind it actually works, so maybe that's something I can do in the future. Anyway, guys, make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, and to smash the subscribe button if you did too, and want to see more videos like this. I'll see you next time, guys. Bye!